Hello, musicians. This is Miss Russell coming to you live from the living room. And today, let's warm up and have a story and sing a song, and then we'll say goodbye. By the way, I wanted to introduce you to someone very special. Right back here on the couch is my dog Django, who I'm getting to visit with a lot these days. All right, you know what to do. Let's sing together. 1, 2, ready, sing. People get ready. There's a train a-comin'. Don't need no ticket. Just get on board. People get ready. There's a train a-comin'. Don't need no baggage. Just get on board. Now listen to my song and repeat after me. Sol, la, sol, mi. Sol, sol, la, la, sol, mi. Mi, re, do. Do, do, ti, do. Do, re, mi, re, do. Sol, la, sol. Sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, do, ti, do. You sound great. This time let's add a beat. People get ready. There's a train a-comin'. Don't need no ticket. Just get on board. People get ready. There's a train a-comin'. Don't need no baggage. Just get on board. 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 That was beautiful. I want to share a story with you today as I'm here in my house, not really going anywhere, and I'm imagining some of you are home in your houses, not really going anywhere, and I'm imagining that a lot of people around Boston and around Massachusetts and around the world are doing the same thing. So I wanted to share with you a story that helps me imagine where I might go if I could just take off and fly all around. This story is called Abuela by Arthur Dorros, illustrated by Elisa Clevin. Don't worry, I'll show you the pictures. Abuela takes me on a bus. We go all around the city. Abuela is my grandma. She is my mother's mother. Abuela means grandma in Spanish. How many of you have an abuela? That's what I thought. A lot of you have abuelas at home. Abuela speaks mostly Spanish because that's what people spoke where she grew up before she came to this country. Abuela and I are always going places. Today, we're going to the park. El parque es lindo, says Abuela. I know what she means. I think the park is beautiful too. Tantos pájaros, Abuela says, as a flock of birds surrounds us. So many birds. They're picking up the bread that we brought. What if they picked me up and carried me high above the park? What if I could fly? Abuela would wonder where I was. Swooping like a bird, I would call to her. Then she'd see me flying. Rosalba the bird. Rosalba el pájaro, she'd say. Ven, Abuela. Come, Abuela, I'd say. Sí, quiero volar, Abuela would reply as she leaped into the sky with her skirt flapping in the wind. We would fly all over the city. Mira, Abuela would say, pointing, and I'd look as we soared. over parks and streets and dogs and people. We'd wave to the people waiting for the bus. Buenos dias, we'd say. Buenos dias, good morning, they'd call to us. We'd fly over factories and trains and glide close to the sea. Cerca del mar, we'd say. We would almost touch the tops of the waves. Abuela's skirt would be a sail, and she could race with the sailboats. I'll bet you she would win. We'd fly to where the ships are docked and watch people unload fruits from the land where Abuela grew up. Mangoes, papayas, bananas. Those are all Spanish words. So are rodeo, patio, and burro. Maybe we'd see a cousin of Abuela's hooking boxes of fruit to a crane. We saw her cousin Danielle once, unloading and loading the ships. Out past the boats in the harbor, we'd see the Statue of Liberty. Me gusta, Abuela would say. Abuela really likes her. I do too. We would circle around Liberty's head and wave to the people visiting her. That would remind Abuela of when she first came to this country. Vamos al aeropuerto, she'd say. She'd take me to the airport where the plane that first brought her landed. Cuidado, Abuela would tell me. We have to be careful as we went for a short ride. Then we could fly to Tío Pablo's and Tia Alisa's store. Pablo is my uncle, my tío, and Alisa is my aunt, my tía. They'd be surprised when we flew in. But they'd offer us a cool limonada. Flying is hot work. Pero quiero volar más, Abuela would say. I want to fly more too. I want to fly more too. We could fly to las nubes, the clouds. One looks like a cat, un gato. One looks like a bear, un oso. One looks like a chair, una silla. Descansemos un momento, Abuela would say. She wants to rest for a moment. We would rest in our chair, and Abuela would hold me in her arms with the whole sky, our house, nuestra casa. We'd be as high as airplanes, balloons, and birds, and higher than the tall buildings downtown. But we'd fly there too, to look around. We could find the building where my father works. Hola, Papa, I'd say as I waved, and Abuela would do a flip for fun as we passed by the windows. Mira, I'd hear Abuela say. Look, she's telling me. I do look, and we are back in the park. We are walking by the lake. Abuela probably wants to go for a boat ride. Vamos a otra aventura, she says. She wants us to go for another adventure. And that's one of the things I love about Abuela. She likes adventures. Abuela takes my hand. Vamos, she says. Let's go. And that is the end of that story. When I read that story, I like to imagine, and maybe you want to imagine with me, what it would be like if I could step outside and spread my wings and take off and fly. Maybe over Boston, maybe to all the different neighborhoods, Roxbury and Dorchester and Roslindale and Mattapan. Maybe fly over the Conley School and see what's going on today. I imagine all the people I might see, all the animals and buildings and trees, and I'd like to imagine if I could fly further. Maybe up to Canada, or down to Mexico, or to Haiti, or to Puerto Rico, or Cuba, or the Dominican Republic, and I like to imagine who I might see and what they might be doing. I like to imagine what kinds of animals I would see, and what kinds of trees, and if there would be mountains, or oceans, or deserts. And I like to imagine if I could fly even further. If I could fly to all the different places in the world and just see what's going on today. then maybe you want to imagine that with me, and maybe you want to imagine that while we sing this song. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Boy, do I miss singing with all of you. But I hope that you are having a wonderful time at your home. And know that I'm missing you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.